Hey guys, welcome to Drop Dice. This is the final episode of Season 1 of 3 Feet from Death. This is more of an epilogue kind of episode. We're going to talk about what we want our characters to do during the break. Think of this like if you've watched a long series, how the last episode usually has that kind of like little cutscene jumpy thing that kind of explains what's kind of going on through the break, and then the new season picks up, of course. Let me just hit my filter here. No big deal. Essentially, we're going to kind of discuss what we would like our characters to do and pursue during the break. And then we will talk about where the characters are going to pick up, which will be in the colonies, and kind of remind everybody about that. Now, if you are new to the series, I do recommend that during the break you take a chance to start over from the beginning and get all caught up for Season 2. But in the meantime, let's go down the line and introduce all of our players again, starting with Brendan.
Hello, I am Brendan. I play Tsubasa, the Z Master Swordsmith.
Perfect.
Next.
Jeremy. Jeremy.
I think he dropped.
Tom.
Yes.
Incorrect, Murdoch.
Ah, there we go. I think we're sitting different orders anyway.
I don't want
Stop
to go
it.
first. I'm Murdoch. I play Kakita Toshiro, and I hate you all still.
That's fair.
Nothing's changed.
Correct.
Tom?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Tom. I play Mirumo Kaji, resident of the Dragon Clan.
Do we have a Jeremy? Nope.
Nope.
We also have a Jeremy who plays. He is playing a Lion Clan member who I'm forgetting the name of now.
Matsu?
It's Matsu, but I'm trying to think of his first name, actually.
Tenchu? Tensu?
Matsu Tenchu, yeah, that's what it is. I'm an excellent GM. I remember stuff. So, let's wait for him to get in here. I don't know what happened. He was working just fine. As soon as I hit record, he all of a sudden died.
Well, his character was lasting a little too long. Let's be
That is
honest
true.
with ourselves.
So I guess I'll just entertain everybody while we wait. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, deedly-dee-dee. Not sure why, but I'm having trouble connecting back to the Hangout. Also not sure why my internet decided to crap out for like 10 seconds. That's Jeremy.
Got it.
In the middle of me entertaining everybody.
How rude.
Do we need to go back to me entertaining people?
No, it's fine. We'll just have Jeremy catch up when he gets here. Matsu did go with Kakita to the north, so we'll put that off for a moment. Miyamoto
Thanks,
and
Jeremy.
C,
Dick.
Miyamoto and C decided to stay in the south in the Crablands. Let's kind of talk about your winter. C, you're going to be getting married. It was a lovely festival. The rest of Winter Court actually went by pretty peaceably. You guys were able to discover kind of the problems that were in the court. However, when you went to go investigate to try and find these changelings, because you assume that there's at least 2 more, they were nowhere to be found. You did find a dead body of a handmaiden during your search of the castle. And that's kind of the extent of who you were able to find. The bodyguard, however, was there, Asano, or Daidoji Asano, was killed and was buried, or burned rather, as is appropriate for Crablands. The handmaiden was also burnt. You weren't able to find anything that would lead to any sort of clues as to what these shape changers were there for. And you do not receive any more visits from crazy ex-witch lovers.
Damn.
And no clues towards the old fart, I'm guessing. I can't remember his name.
Toshiro's master?
Yes.
No, you do not. Which I'll address that later.
Okay.
By the way, I would have taken his Kuni staff with me, for the record.
Which is
Okay.
why I'll be addressing it later.
Okay, so things to accomplish during Winter Court. I believe you went over two.
Yeah, fair warning for any viewers. Today is going to be very light. It is a closeout, like I said, and it's going to be focused more on like goals and accomplishments for the season. So keep that in mind when watching. This is not a standard game for us.
Alright, so goals for Winter Court. You went over two of them, which was basically find the shapeshifters and ram my sword through the Black Witch's heart, but neither of those are happening. I believe I also had an exhibition scheduled at some point during this nonsense. So
You did. You were going to duel with a crab sword fighting school, the Caillou, or not the Caillou, the Kuni Bushi. Or not Kuni. God. Wrong one. The Hitabushi.
all right, so I'll do that. So that'll be.
I will attend. I've never gone to see Miyamoto duel, I think.
Well, it's an exhibition, so it's not like a proper duel, but
A large kind of event of the whole thing is made, or a large big deal is kind of made of the whole thing. Basically, there's a big dinner, there's some hors d'oeuvres, and there's people doing festivity type things. It's being held during the winter solstice, so there is the actual festival that goes on with that as well. Once the duel is set up, you go through the courtly rituals of setting up your duel, and odds or evens.
evens.
Evens. Okay. There are 3 matches in total. You have won 2 of them. They have won 1, and so your school is declared the victor in the deal.
Huzzah!
Yeah, this is kind of important that you guys didn't notice, but I'll give it to you. Miyamoto, it's not until really after everything has kind of gone on with winter, now that it's kind of died down, that you've been able to start smoozing and kind of going across the winter court and everything. But you've noticed that there is some missing guests. Usually, when you hold winter court that's a larger court like this, you would have representatives from all clans, at least the major ones anyways. Scorpion are not present.
Worrisome. Probably up to something. Then again,
That may be where I'm headed.
They were invited, however.
Okay. I'll have to file that one away. I mean, I'll ask around to see if like anyone knows why, but I imagine I'm not going to get much for that.
No, there's plenty of rumors, ranging from completely mundane, like maybe they were attacked by bandits on the route, to they were probably summoned to the wall, to the Scorpion Wall, all the way to somebody who claims that the Scorpion had been infiltrated.
Okay. Yep. All hearsay at this point. Alright. 2 more things.
Okay.
1, I'm going to be watching the former Governor Akoma like a hawk in case he slips up, because when he does, I want to take his head.
Okay. He doesn't really slip up. He behaves the way that is expected of him, but you will notice something that, because you've been watching him for some time now, he is held on a very tight leash by the dragonfly that are with him.
Well, I suppose I'll have to do. Can't spend too much time worrying about that. Last thing for Winter Court proper. Well, technically this will be like around the time I'm leaving. If I am going to be heading into the colonies with the intent of maybe possibly battling the Shadow Dragon, I'm going to want to see if I can actually use the tattoo kit.
Mm-hmm. I assume that was going to be part of your training, is learning to use the tattoo kit, so I'm fine with that. You are able to create your own tattoo design that you believe it works. The only way you're going to find out is, of course, using it. And you don't really have like a Shadowlands creature in a cage or anything like that you can test it on. And even if you test it on a Shadowlands creature, you're not entirely certain it'll work on a corrupted creature either.
Okay.
But the symbol will work something out, but I had an idea for some fun. The symbol is going to be a symbol that is specific to the Orotodaki that you guys have formed, or Brotherhood. Which, once we figure out something, I'll probably whip it up, and that'll be our logo for next season.
Cool.
And for C, you were getting married. You are given land in the Crablands. You are also given a house, or actually you have a house within Toshi Rainbow, so no worries there. But your family tells you that they have made your house ready for your wife's return, which you know to mean that your mother has splurged and bought furniture and things like that for you, because you basically had an empty house when you left Toshi Rainbow.
Okay.
With the marriage comes other benefits, like you've taken on some servants and things like that. Technically, your honor has been increased because it was held during Winter Court, and you married into a great clan. And she has decided to take your last name. So you will gain 1.5 honor, by the way.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I did have...
Your status will increase by 0.5.
I had an idea for the gift I wanted to give her on for the wedding. I don't know if that's a customary thing, but...
yeah, it's... for Crablands, how they typically get married is they'll write a poem to each other, and then the poems will be exchanged before the wedding, and that's the start of the engagement process. But for the wedding itself, it is customary to exchange gifts, and when a gift is given to someone who attends a crab wedding, the gift is meant to be for both parties. So it shows a union between the two families within the gift.
Okay,
customarily you would give them something that would be welcoming into your clan when it's a personal gift.
What I make for her is a metal sculpture of I forget what the Japanese word for it is, but you know the flower arrangements.
Mm-hmm.
It's a metal sculpture of that, except the flowers are all spears, and there's 100 of them.
Okay. So you spend nights in the forge just hammering away with these small smithy tools to refine out 100 of these spear-headed, or these flower-headed spears to make the arrangement. Do you do the arranging yourself, or do you go to someone to take care of that?
I have no skill in it, so I would have asked for my mother's help.
Okay. So with your mother's help, you're able to, because your mother is a tailor, so she's learned some other things like that.
But she's the calligrapher.
Or calligrapher, rather. Well, she would have learned other things like that. Most females within your family, because you live in Toshi Rainbow, would learn something of a courtly art. So like tea making, flower arrangements, painting, things like that. So between the two of you, you're able to put together something that actually is quite impressive to the Caillou family. The Caillou family, their gift to you is much less impressive to the audience, but much more impressive to you. She gives you a bar of Caillou steel. And on the top, it's got the Caillou emblem. But as you rotate the bar, it actually has the emblem moving out, or it's got the mon, right? Well, the Caillou crab arm comes out of the mon, and it looks like it's extending down. And if you rotate the bar over, you can see an oriole on the bottom, and its wing is extending out, and it looks like the wing and the claw are about to touch on the side of the bar. It's a 20-pound lead weight, basically, or steel weight.
That's going to be turned into an... So, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they wouldn't care if you used it to forge.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, it would be considered, like, if you were to make it for, like, let's say you made it for, like, a helm that you always wear, it would be considered a good thing. They would enjoy that.
Okay, cool.
But you wouldn't want to use that as part of what you're forging for your masterpiece, because that's something you intend to give away.
Okay. I'll write up the poem and some other stuff for the game page.
Perfect. The other thing that you are going to get during this time is time to work, and you and I discussed that you wanted to work on forging a sword this time, right?
Yep. There are a few things I wanted to do, but forging swords takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna make one from scratch for I'm forgetting his name again. Toshiro's master.
Oh, for
just to be cheeky, because he told me to have a blade and he doesn't have a blade.
Mm-hmm. That it doesn't take you very long.
Okay.
It's a wakizashi. They don't take as much time to build. Like you build it in the same fashion that you would a katana, but because of the katana's size, it takes much longer.
Okay.
So
But
a
yeah,
few weeks later, you're able to actually fashion a blade to put inside his wakizashi that has no blade.
And it has a little
Weapon.
hollow hilt to put his poem in, and I make sure to put my seal on it.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, the other thing I want to do is the first step of my masterpiece.
Okay. So are you going to forge the blade, or are you going to work on gathering the components? Because you pretty much have all the components for the blade already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I imagine I'm also... I know I'm not learning Caillou secrets or anything like that because I didn't join their clan, but am I studying with them at all, like learning anything?
Yeah, you're learning a little bit, and because you're using the forge and you have assistants now, the crafting process is much faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, by the time you get done, you're going to have the blade assembled, but you're still going to need to put together the handle and stuff like that you can do while you're on the road. However, the saya is really important. That's kind of your maker's mark. That's the cross guard, if you're not familiar with that. Or, sorry, saya is the case, which is also important. What is it? Ebby? Is that the term? I forget what it is. Now I'm forgetting. The cross guard is also really important because that's where the forge maker really shows who they are. So what does your cross guard look like?
I'm not really too familiar with that aspect of the of katanas. Like, what are different things that a swordsmith would do to make it look like their own?
Oh, it's not a cross guard. It's called something else. Because a cross guard is specific to European weapons. Suba, that's what it is. Typically for Rugagon, a standard Suba for like a clan craft is typically a clan mon that's been stylized. Some warriors choose to have other ones. In fact, what's often considered a great gift is, like, sometimes if it is known that you carry a specific weapon and someone doesn't mean to insult you but they want to gift you with something, they'll sometimes forge a Suba for you so that you can change out the Suba piece. And that's considered almost as good as giving someone a katana.
It's katana bling.
Yeah, it's like the cell phone accessory. But
okay, I'm looking at some pictures
all
online
sorts
now.
of-
Actually, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually put some thought into that, so you can come back to me on that.
Okay, not a problem.
hold on. I just want to take a moment and say that we're in Crablands, so everybody should view that video that I just linked.
I was gonna say, what is this?
Oh.
Right. For those of you who are watching, it's a video of a crab doing push.
He's
Sorry.
benching a pencil.
He's bench pressing what looks like
A paintbrush.
a paintbrush.
Yeah.
I love that he struggles on the last one.
He's
like,
legitimately upside down too, doing it.
Uh-huh. Like if you just type in Suba in Google, there's one that looks like a crane. Like that would be very commonplace amongst the crane clan. However, you can see that there are ones that are very ornate and specific when you look through the Google search, so that'll give you an idea of the kind of stuff that you can do. So for our friends that that chose to go to the north, let's kind of talk about you guys real quick here.
One last thing before we move on. Minor thing. I would have sent a letter out to the Jade Pearl Inn to confirm whether or not that geisha was dead.
Oh yeah, she's dead.
Shucks. Okay, moving on.
Let's talk about Kakita and Matsu's journey north. So we kind of talked about it. You guys wanted to go through the Scorpion Lands and pretty much cut directly over to Spider, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you get to Scorpion Lands, you find that most of the castles that you come across to stay, you can get into the city proper, but the castles are locked down, which is not uncommon for winter, but you would think that they'd be at least a little bit more welcoming for samurai.
Can we get a hint as to why?
It appears that the Scorpion have decided to refrain from winter court and celebrations this year.
I'm going to ask why.
The official answer that you receive from the guards is there's been too much activity at the Scorpion Wall, and they felt it would be improper to relax their guard during winter.
What kind of activity?
A giant sea troll came up the river. That much you guys knew about. And apparently there has been, at the Scorpion Pit, some recent
giant
activity.
sea troll didn't happen to drop a large piece of crystal, did he?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I guess I won't be getting my crystal back. Continue, please.
There was some activity at the Scorpion Pit. A small demon horde came up and attempted to siege the wall. There's been damages, so a good deal of the Scorpion engineers are attempting to repair the walls right now. If you listen to the townspeople, they have all sorts of rumors on this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So some rumors start off as like there's a young woman in the Bayushi family that felt scorned by her love interest from the Phoenix clan.
Yeah.
And so that is why they've chosen to not attend the Phoenix Winter Court, which is where the official big Winter Court is right now. And the Bayushi is standing unified behind her and has decided to send no representatives of the Bayushi to any court. It doesn't explain why the rest of the families haven't attended, but that's one excuse that you've heard. You've heard of another that that the Scorpion have been encouraged by the Emperor to not attend any winter courts. For reasons that would be unbefitting a commoner to tell a samurai.
I'm going to basically play dumb and be like, what kind of question or what kind of reasons would those be? Like, what would those reasons be?
The
Like, as in, what kind of reasons would the commoner not be able to target?
the Hennin you're talking to. He says, I apologize, Lord Shiginja, but I do not know the full details. This is just the words that I've heard. I find it hard to believe that the lords of my state would be rude to anyone, especially to the Emperor. So I find little faith in that rumor.
I would agree that your God, what would be the term? Your lords of the castle would not be rude to the Emperor as well.
Another rumor that you hear is that that something dark is going on, because every commoner says that something dark is going on somewhere.
Always.
Yeah, always. That the Scorpion clan has been twisted to the ways of the Shadowlands. Another rumor that you hear is that the Scorpion have discovered a dragon.
Where did they discover this dragon?
It would have been underneath Bayushi Castle. Hyuden Bayushi.
Where's Hyuden Bayushi? Are we at Hyuden Bayushi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when this questioning happens, because that's the best place to get information, really. According to the commoner that you hear about the dragon from, it was a dragon that was asleep for many years. A great fireworm. From what you know of dragons, if it was awake, it probably would have unburied itself by now. And there's no way that the Scorpion could have kept it contained if it didn't want to be.
Yeah, I'm looking at this going, this place isn't on fire yet. Gonna take all this with a grain of salt and just ask about what happened with the troll.
That there's a little bit more concrete information. Essentially what he did is he came upriver, like I said he would, and he kind of rampaged along the coastal cities until he lost steam. Eventually he hit the top of the river where the mountains meet, and there had been enough assaults by samurai that he was eventually brought down. Once brought down, the body kind of dissipated into the water, and there has been strict water regulations inside Scorpion Land since, because they don't want to spread whatever filth that thing brought with it. So far they've been told that they are not allowed to drink from the stream or use the stream for anything until the second month of spring.
Interesting.
And of course, once you leave and start traveling north, you'll see signs along the river that do explicitly state that you are not to use the water of the river until the second month of spring.
I would agree that that is a wise decision.
The person that you spoke with, they say that the Shugenja decided that, or that the Yogo clan decided that that they were unable to seal the taint that was contained within the river. So their best bet is to wait for the summer or for the winter snows to melt and wash away the taint naturally.
Which should work.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's a source within the river continuing to taint it.
Yep.
And they'll figure that out really quick. Let's head north.
Okay.
All right.
Matzo, do you have anything that you'd like to do in Scorpion Lanes along the way?
No, I've stayed quiet because we're in Scorpion Lands.
Fair enough. That's usually a pretty safe way to go through Scorpion Lands.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
For the record, before I would have left, I would have taken the Cooney prayer staff and I would have told Little Bear that I was leaving.
That's fine.
Would he have had a response to me leaving or no?
He would have protested to you leaving during winter, but when you explained yourself, he would have stopped pretty much protesting right away.
Okay. All right.
So the Scorpion are not as free with their information as some of the other clans, so I need you to give me some rumors that I can plant inside the Scorpion that you would have traded for information for the rumors that you received.
Rumors?
They could be truth, they could be completely false. It's just they like the rumor game, so you would have had to tell them things for them to tell you things.
I would have told. I probably would have just continued to tell the rumor of the Sea Trolls battle down south, that a Bat Clan member, had this issue, and that I heard that the Caillou have decided to allow a Sea to marry one of their daughters.
Mm-hmm. That bit of information is very interesting to them. They will freely share a lot of information, with the more information about the wedding and the details of exactly who's getting married.
Yeah, I won't give specifics, but I'll just say apparently it's a very young and skilled swordsmith is getting married. Apparently he proved himself to them somehow. I'm not sure on the details. Is pretty much what I'll give them.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So yeah, the rest of your journey through the Scorpion Lands goes fairly well. You guys are actually going to travel through the mountain pass to get into Lion Lands. Now that the Matsu's home, do you have anything that you'd like to do while you're in Lion Lands? Your wife will not be able to meet you because of where she currently lives.
Directly in the Lion Lands and not at home.
Yeah. Essentially, if you look at the map, L10 is where you'd be coming out, which is Shiromatsu, which your wife is not currently staying in because she went to the Imperial Winter Court as an honored guest.
Yeah.
But it is your home. So, I mean, you guys could stop there and actually stay inside a home for
Yeah.
for the
Well,
night.
I definitely want to go home if possible, because I'd like to bring the fan I was given
Mhm.
at court and actually, hang it up.
Okay.
Also, the other reason I want to go is because I know Toshiro has not came to my home since I got married to his sister.
Come, not came, you dumb lion.
Fair enough.
I figured he'd want to see where his sister's been living.
Not nearly as extravagant as any sort of Crane territory or house. But you can tell that your sister has exhibited her role in the house quite well. There are art pieces that your sister brought with her that are hanging on the wall. There are new art pieces because your sister does have an eye for collecting that she has added to the gallery that she has inside the home, and some of them are actually lion pieces and poetry and things like that. And it seems like she's kind of cherry-picked the best of each castle that she's gone to.
Okay. I will greet her respectfully and honor.
Well, she's not there. She's at Imperial Court.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Then
Hey.
I am unhappy.
Too bad.
I will passively aggressively show disdain for where my sister lives in squalor.
She is at the City of Remembrance in the Phoenix Lands.
Oh, this is a terrible fucking place right here. This is possibly the second worst castle I've ever seen. And remember, I've been to Toshi Rambo.
Okay.
Thing Toshi Rainbow's worse.
So
Maybe.
the next stop on your journey logically would actually be Kyoto Nakoma, which is interesting because we have the Akoma returning from the colonies. If you guys want to do anything about that.
Are there rumors in the colonies?
From the Akoma, Yes, there's lots of rumors, especially because one of their former relatives has returned. Um, according to the Akoma, if you listen to their rumors, the Dragonfly have been snatching up Ronin and clanless citizens of the colonies, like the native people to the colonies, and bringing them into their family and expanding upon ranks, which you've heard confirmation of before. But it seems like the Lion have a little bit better idea about how many are coming. And it seems like quite a bit were married into and entered service as wardens and as Yojimbo and things like that. It appears that they're expecting even more to be added to their ranks in spring once the boats can freely sail between the colonies and Rukagon proper.
Why would they do that?
They seem to be bolstering their strength for some reason. If you listen to the Lion believe that the Dragonfly are attempting to get back at them once and for all.
I wouldn't be
What
surprised
happened
about
between
that.
the Lion and the Dragonfly?
The Battle of White Stag that outlawed gunpowder in Rukagon because the Lion took a bunch of guns and murdered like pretty much the entire Dragonfly clan to save a few people.
And they say gun.
The Battle of White Stag also locked off Rukagon from all Gaijin influence too, because it was such a bloody battle.
And guns were a Gaijin influence.
Mm-hmm.
If one Gaijin influence can kill a bunch of people, then other Gaijin influences can.
There were other things that led up to it, but the Battle of White Stag was so one-sided, thanks to Gaijin technology, that they decided to go ahead and close borders. They figured it would not be good for their people to allow things like that, because all the Gaijin technology that they had been introduced to were weapons, mainly. So it made them feel that the Gaijin that were conducting the trade were more interested in war and slaughter than culture, which is what Rukagon's about.
Okay. That's weird.
The Lion are mounting armies to patrol the northern borders and ensure that the Dragonfly maintain the Emperor's peace.
I can completely understand this.
Um,
I am not recognized, am I?
you are, because you're wearing your clan colors, unless you're going in with standard like Ronin look to you.
No. I mean, I'm not necessarily meaning recognized as a crane, but
No,
recognized as...
they recognize you as a Kakita because you wear Kakita Mons, but they don't recognize you personally, no.
Okay, I didn't know if they realized I was the guy that got him exiled in the first place.
No. Most of the people that are gossiping with you don't really care. If they do know, they don't seem to care.
Okay.
This
isn't Scorpion Lands, man. Not even the lowliest peasants care.
There is a little bit of discussion about Akado Haruko, who was the sword saint who got banished with him, because you expressed concern about finding out what happened to her, or at least Miyamoto did. You would have thought to ask about her. Apparently, she is living in the colonies. She's made a name for herself as a swordsman, but she has decided to become Ronin.
What does that mean?
She has given up her name. She is just known as Haruko of the Road now.
She has given up her past allegiances to...
Does that mean she can come back to Rukagon?
Technically, she could, if she was in service to another house. But she has not expressed desire to come back. Apparently, she's doing quite well and has made a name for herself out there, but she left her family because she felt that she had brought shame to her family and her school, so she dropped her name.
I understand. Well, time to continue north.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing north, you pretty much hit open territories. You can go through the Dragonlands if you want to, or you can go around. It's kind of your choice.
Whatever the quickest way to Toshi Rambo is.
To Toshi Rambo? Because I thought you were going to Spiderlands.
I have to stop at Toshi Rambo to get information for Tsubasa.
Oh, in that case, let me rearrange how your trip went. You would have gone to Toshi Rambo, then to Castle Akoma, because you have to pretty much kind of go over and then back up.
Okay.
Okay,
There, I'm
Toshi
just-
Rambo is pretty much abandoned as far as nobility is concerned because Winter Court wasn't in Toshi Rambo this year.
Yeah, I know, but I still have to talk to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Get any information I can about Tsubasa's father and the illness.
Okay. It's not a lot of information. The doctor had worked out a herbal remedy, not like a remedy. It was like an herbal treatment, more or less, to ease the pain associated with the condition. The doctor has an idea of what it is. The early stages essentially include coughing blood, and what appears to be something akin to arthritis. As time goes along, it will evolve into more like what would be assumed to be kind of sore muscles from hard work, and then almost all of a sudden towards the end, it ends up being stuff like minor paralysis in limbs for hours at a time, and then you're fine. And then slowly it becomes more and more until finally the body just ceases to move, and eventually what ends up happening is the lungs paralyze, and that's how you die.
All right. Does he have any research from the father?
He's got a little bit about basically how the whole disease evolved along, but he doesn't have anything towards like a cure. It looked like he didn't. It was completely outside of his league. So what he did is he documented for somebody who might be a better doctor than himself.
Yeah, I'm going to take all that documentation.
Okay.
Does he give me a futz?
No. When you tell him that you're here about Tsubasa, he doesn't really make a big deal about it. You basically explain to him that you're his doctor, and he'll share the information willingly with you. He won't give you his notebooks, but he'll make copies, or he'll send to a scribe to make copies for you.
All right. I also deliver the letter that Steve had written.
Okay. That was to C's master, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The old man will take the letter, read it, and because the old man doesn't care about anything, he kind of reminds you of your own master in a way.
Yeah.
He tosses you a koku like you're a messenger boy.
When he tosses it to me, I do that. I let it hit my chest and fall to the ground. And then I look at him.
Like he just looks at you as it hits the ground, and that's what he notices. He kind of looks up, sees it hit the ground, shakes his head, and then he closes his door without a word to you.
You know, I could always, you know,
A
I'll open
koku
the
for a
door.
winter letter is actually pretty appropriate for a messenger because winter letters are quite hard to deliver.
I'll open the door and just be like, should I tell Tsubasa his master says hello?
He picks up a hammer off the workbench and he says, "You can tell him he's got work piling up." And he
Well,
walks right over to the forge and starts pumping it a little bit more.
He's going to the colonies.
I guess I'll have to take care of his work some more.
Okay.
Fine. Tell him he owes me.
Sure. Then I close the door.
He is, Chris. He is aware of what's happened to me as well. I wrote him about it in a letter. Okay.
Yeah. Which is why he's not really making a big deal about it, and he's making very short responses. Because
Okay.
he doesn't know who he's talking to and doesn't want to break face.
Yeah, so I shut the door.
Okay. You'll as you walk away, like forges make a ton of noise. Like even just the fire stoking makes a lot of noise. You'll hear that the forge gets shut down.
I'll walk back because this
During
seems weird.
winter, yeah, that's bad during winter. That forge can be destroyed.
I'll open the door and be like, do you require help?
When
I
you
would do see it.
When you go to open the door, it's locked. It's
I'll
been-
knock.
No response.
Is this it? It's Kakita Toshiro. Please open up.
No response. The lock is a padlock on the outside, by the way. So you know that he locked and left.
Oh, he locked and left.
Hmm.
Okay. Do I know where his
have
house
that,
is?
if that forge does not become attended to, there's a chance that he may crack the forge itself. No, you don't, because every interaction you've had with him has always been at the forge. In fact, from what C said, you were inclined to believe that he might have lived at the forge.
Okay, I'll ask around.
Okay. You ask around. He doesn't necessarily live in the forge, but he does have a house that's like kind of adjacent to the forge.
Okay, I'll go to that.
Okay. You go to knock on the door. Do you announce yourself or just knock on the door?
I announce myself.
Okay. He'll come to the door and he says, "Forgive me, honored samurai," and he'll bow to you. My forge is closed for the evening. There has been a family emergency.
Does it have to do with the letter I delivered?
He looks at you. He kind of squints, and it didn't occur to you before. He's going blind.
Okay.
It's common for forge masters, actually, but he kind of squints and he says, "No, that couldn't have been you. You're too tall. Please, come inside my home. If I cannot offer you a clean weapon and a sharpened soul, then I can at least give you some tea."
Could my Matsu companion join us?
He looks back and he says, "You're not going to bring a lion in here, are you?
It's a male, sir.
You're not going to bring a lion in here, are you?"
Metaphorically or literally?
Literally.
No.
Yes, come in. He'll walk in, and you can see that his house actually is in need of a lot of repair. His house was part of the area that was actually damaged during the siege, and it looks like, or the Battle of Toshi Rambo there, and it looks like he really hasn't done that much work around the house. He's been tending to the forge and doing other things. He'll sit down, and you can see him kind of go through a very practiced movement of picking up the glasses, setting them down in specific spots, and he's heating the tea, and everything is very regimented in the exact same spot. He'll carry a teapot to a fourth seat, stop, and then he'll go over to his own seat and serve himself last. You can tell that he's so far blind that now he's just doing things routinely so that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I am one of Tsubasa's friends. Are you comfortable here? Your house seems to have taken some damage during the battle.
It's a bit drafty. I meant to hire some carpenters before winter came through, but during winter they don't like to work so much. I had to focus on putting together some gifts for winter court. It's okay. I don't sleep here much during the winter. I usually stay in the forge to keep the fires going.
Yeah, you shut down your forge. Are you not worried that it's going to crack?
No, the ember should keep it for a while. I should be back in a couple hours. I just came home because I wanted to pray to my ancestors.
With everything that's happening, be aware that we have kept Tsubasa very safe.
I've received letters from C, and he has spoken kindly of his traveling companions.
Well, now I know you're a liar, good sir. This is what Toshiro says with a joking tone.
He kind of starts to smile, and he says, "I am told that he travels with swordsmen of skill, that even his Shugenja companion is quite the duelist."
When the time calls. Though I would say that Shugenja is probably more learned than a typical swordsman. I would say the best swordsman out of all of them is probably the dragon.
C seems to think so as well. His his confidence has been raised since it being in your care. I can see that. He is not the same boy that tended to the flame in my forge.
Well, his combat prowess does need some attending. I'm hoping that during the winter, the dragon can see to that. However, his abilities within the forge have impressed even the mighty Caillou family, so much so that they've offered him a daughter.
Yes, I was told that he would be getting married this winter.
Well, do you have any questions for us regarding him?
He kind of shuffles into his seat finally, and he slides over the letter to you, and he says, "I am a proud man, but please do not hold it against me. Would you please read this for me? I suspect that it is not good news. No one sends letters during winter if they can avoid it."
Well, I was headed up this way anyway, and he wanted to relay information to you. And I will kind of put the letter in his hands and tell him that it's inappropriate for me to break the seal.
Okay. He'll kind of run his fingers along until he finally breaks it.
Okay. And then when he hands it back to me, I'll read it for him.
Okay.
Or actually, if I'm thinking for timeline's sake, maybe he doesn't know yet, and because I didn't write a letter thinking it was going to be read, you could use the one that's on the Google page.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, he doesn't know exactly what's going on, but usually if you send a letter during winter, that means someone died, because it's expensive and it's hard to do.
Okay.
Which is why he shut down the forge, because he can't read the letter. He can't read the letter because he's going blind, but he's just expecting the absolute worst.
It's on the Google page if you want to read it, Murdoch.
Let's go with Brennan. You read it.
Yeah.
Then it's cool because it's like in your voice.
Hmm.
Give me a second to go find it.
I think it was from December 13th was the last one.
I'll just add a PS at the end for the purpose that I've been writing it for. Letters.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Is December 13th was the last one.
Okay. Okay, now I remember. I didn't actually know I had it when I wrote the letter. So he received a letter with me dealing with the consequences of the marriage. So never mind. I didn't write a letter telling him it happened yet. So I don't have anything. Sorry.
I was gonna say you have that December 13th letter, which is arriving for Kyoto and Hida.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Okay, so I'll read that.
Mm-hmm.
Honored Master, much has happened since we arrived in Kudenhida. We ventured beyond the wall, and what we encountered I would have never believed if not for the events in Toshi Rambo. I would have suffered 1,000 times over, however. I recovered an extraordinary collection of 12 ancient Caillou blades. I could look at nothing else during our return journey. The craftsmanship and history behind them is like nothing I've ever seen. I gave my blood for them, and the Caillou have recognized me by offering marriage to Caillou Reiko, the Caillou Elder's very own granddaughter. I knew you would like her as soon as she had me craft 100 spears during my first days there. I almost declined, The memory of my father weighs heavily on me, and the thought of my own children not living until their own marriages haunts me. I felt selfish for accepting. I was ashamed that I did so before telling Reiko that what I bring with me to marriage. I told her afterwards, offering to rescind my acceptance. Ever the crab, her response reminded me of my own duty to my family. I must complete my father's work, and I have used that as an excuse to run away from my fears. I'll need to find a tactful way to bring the news to my mother. She's almost here, and I wouldn't want to bring the wall tumbling down. Caillou engineering be damned. My hands have been idle for a long time, but you need not worry over them turning soft. I have a busy winter ahead of me. Your humble pupil. And there'll be a postscript after that. The ink looks a little different, so it was written afterwards, so it looks like it was another little letter tacked onto a letter that had already been written. These words are written in haste as my companions are leaving Wintercourt abruptly. I fear that I have received the same curse my father carried. I have a year ahead of me, but for the hope of my future child, I am putting into the hands of my friend, Kikita Toshiro. His father was a great surgeon and doctor blessed by the gods, and I hope for the sake of my future family and for my father's grandson or daughter that he can give them a full life. Your humble pupil.
So Kikita kind of reads through, and there's some moments where your teacher, the Forge Master, kind of laughs about the 100 spears thing, and then Kikita, you read that postscript, like hastened letter, and you can see this look of almost like I knew it kind of thing creep upon his face, and he says, I am sorry to make this short, but if you wouldn't forgive me, I must attend to my ancestors.
I understand. And I will bow, and then I'll wait for Matsu to do the same, even though this guy can't see shit.
Mm-hmm. You can see his ancestor shrine, which is very common inside pretty much all houses in Rukagon. He has no incense left. You happen to carry a bunch on you. Are you going to try and slip him some?
Yeah.
And by try, I mean you could just do it, because he's not going to see it.
Yeah, I'll slip him some and leave him some there for him. So.
Okay. So you fish a couple out of one of your satchels or one of your bags and just kind of lay them down where his incense normally would be. And as you close up the house, you can hear almost this tear-felt prayer kind of drift through one of the open parts of his wall that have been kind of wrecked in. And he's praying to his ancestors for his only worthy student.
Okay. After that, I will head to the local carpenter.
Okay. You're able to find the most like carpenters and repairmen and fishermen and things like that. They go through a merchant's guild for work. You're able to find the merchant's guild during winter. It kind of doubles up as like a men's social club because they've got nothing better to do except for drink and hang out. When you enter, it's like a commoner's winter court. There are people dancing, playing instruments, having a very good time, and then like the entire room goes real silent as you break open the door because you are obviously not a commoner. You are bushi or you are a samurai coming through. They all kind of like break away and let you come through because you're coming across the makeshift dance floor.
For the record, I am walking with intense purpose.
Okay. There is a bar which is actually normally where they take order requests that you're able to walk right up to, and the man that normally arranges for like the different jobs and things like that is behind there, and he quickly shuffles away some glasses and a bottle of sake he throws underneath the table as you get there, and he wipes it down real quick, and he says, my lord, and he bows very deeply to you. He says, I apologize about the mess, and he'll kind of wave to people, and you'll see a bunch of people start like picking up chairs and rearranging the room to make it presentable.
You should apologize. This is disgraceful. You dishonor yourself and your ancestors. Wouldn't you keep this trade hall in such disarray?
Forgive us, my lord. It is winter, and I thought it would be good for the craftsmen to have a celebration of their own.
A celebration is all well and good, but one only celebrates when their work is done. This trade hall was asked for a job by carpenters to fix an old blind man's house. His house is still drafty. This is unacceptable.
He reaches down underneath the counter and fetches out his book, and he looks through it and he says, "What is the name of this citizen?"
I give him the name.
Okay. He looks through the book and there's nothing for him. He says, "Forgive me. It seems that my apprentice failed to notate that in the book." Because you know he won't say you're wrong.
Yeah. His house needs to be fixed as soon as possible. I don't care if there's... How much snow does this area typically get?
Toshi Rainbow's actually not that bad this year. Winter has been fairly light, which is the whole reason that you're able to travel and not die.
Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if there's more than 3 feet of snow on the ground. What is the cost for this?
He kind of looks a little hesitant, and he says, "If you were to send me your servant, I would be happy to discuss this matter with them. My men will start work immediately."
Is the cost for this?
When he says my men will start work immediately, you see a couple of men get up from one table, and they immediately leave the building. He realizes that you would like to conduct business yourself now. He will say, "I will have to have them assess the damage, but the smith's house was damaged quite thoroughly from the battle. The governor left a stipend inside here to assist anyone with their repairs. Adjusting for winter costs, 3 koku."
I understand. I'll take out a
Calligraphy.
Thank you. Set, and I will write down and, send the bill here type thing.
Okay. You have a home in Toshi Rambo, so they will accept your business. Normally, a guild like this will want money up front unless you are a resident, and since you are a resident, that's not a problem.
Yeah. And I tell them to make sure that his fireplace works.
Of course.
And then I will leave and head to my house and give orders to my house Carl or whoever is there keeping track of my property, because I know we got one.
Yeah, you have a major domo.
Yeah. Just be like, please pay for this.
Of course, I will make arrangements. He begins writing a letter to your home, which is in Crane Lands, to your mother about securing the funds, because your mother does, as the matron of the family, delineate funds for everybody who's not married.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So he begins the arrangements. You guys are pretty much done with Toshi Rambo, correct? Unless you have something else to do.
Nope, I leave. I don't even spend the night. Fuck that. I don't want to be in that shithole.
Okay. Yeah, your house is pretty bare because you haven't done anything with it. Like the major domo has like made his room kind of cozy, but that's about it.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, do a thing, and he's like, oh man, I gotta work for half a second. Okay, I'm done. I've done a thing. Go away. I'm like, yeah, sure. Put up some Georgia O'Keeffe posters or something. This place is pretty suck.
So you guys head back out, and then you will go to Cutanacoma on your way up. You'll actually cross through Dragonlands, which Dragonlands are kind of hard to navigate just because of the way that the terrain is there. So you'll end up having to get yourselves a guide along the way.
I was told that I needed to give a letter to the dragon people. So wherever, I'm just going to hit all of the clan's capital cities on the way up. That's what's just happening right now.
Let me see here. Dragon. Let's see. Shiro Miyamoto is D8. Yeah, you could actually hit that one quite easily along the way.
Yep.
Which would be his family home.
Yep. I will try to find the... who is this addressed to? Just your domo?
My parents.
I'll try to find his parents.
Okay. So with a little bit of asking around, you're able to find his honored parents. Which we have not named, but that's okay.
I have the names written down somewhere.
Honored Kaji mother, honored Kaji father.
Miyamoto.
His father is Kurakama, and his mother is Anri.
Fair enough.
Honored Miramotos Samas.
Yep. When you come to their home is actually kind of unique. It's built into an old temple almost that has been kind of reclaimed by the land, and they've built their home into the temple basin, and they're kind of in a valley along themselves. The dragon generally don't build a lot of like huge cities. When they do build a city, it's a great city, but outside of the cities, they typically make their homes. And so when you find this temple home thing, you're like, this explains a lot about Kaji.
Yeah. It does, truly. I will announce myself.
Welcome. What's the letter? Let's go ahead and skip to that then.
Okay. So, to my honored father and mother. Unfortunately, if predictably, things have taken a turn for the worse. Once again, I am unable to show all the details, some I believe of vital importance, but I shall do the best I can. First, though, I must start with something personal, something I have recently learned which has shaken me to my core. I know you have thought I jested when I claimed I was cursed never to love, but I have been confronted with proof that there was in fact something sinister behind it. Miho did not drown. She was murdered, along with every other woman who has shown me affection over the years, by a jealous woman who knew me in my youth. I honestly cannot remember her from my past, so she has followed me all the way to Crablands and to gleefully tell me as such. I will never know true rest until my blade has pierced her black heart and avenged the innocence she has taken. I ask of you, ask any you know who might know who this woman is, that I may know my enemy. That aside, Wintercourt has proven troublesome as I thought. I have seen clear evidence that there is a plot brewing which endangers Hida Castle itself, and not all are who they claim to be. I struggle to keep my wits about myself, and it is made more problematic by Toshiro's declaration that what we need could not be found here. We found that we had to part ways for the time being, with Tsubasa and myself remaining in the castle, while Tenshu and Toshiro head north to Spiderlands, seeking the answer to our mystery. I have stated this before and I'll state it again. The dragon must watch over Kakita Toshiro, for he finds catastrophe with alarming ease. I guarantee that we will find the next Rector Rushigan in one way or another, and we should be there to meet it.
Kakita reads through the letter and he goes, "The Dragon Clan must continue to watch Kakita Toshiro." Wait a minute.
I go.
And then he like
Kakita
slowly
Toshiro.
reads the next couple words. Because yeah, they'll make you read it because you're a messenger. Messengers typically do read the letter.
Yeah. Well, they think I'm the messenger.
It's like, so who is this Kakita Toshiro? I don't know. Shut up.
Do you have anything that you'd like to do before leaving, or are you just delivering the letter?
I'm just going to deliver the letter.
Okay.
Are they going to throw Goku at me again?
Yeah, because you're coming forward and you haven't announced yourself as Bushi or anything. You're in
No, I
traveling
did. I
clothes.
announced myself when I came in.
Oh, okay. In that case, they'll look at you and they'll say, "How awkward for you," and they'll grab the letter and fold it up. They won't throw you a koku though.
I do not find it awkward at all. He is correct.
Then please allow us a guide for you to travel safely through the Dragonland.
I assure you, one is not necessary.
We must insist. The Dragonlands can be quite dangerous and quite confusing for an outsider.
I have. Damn it. They make sense. That's the problem. They're actually like.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
Damn it.
Like people disappear into the spirit realms in Dragon territory if they don't know where they're going.
I would be honored to have such a guide help me navigate the Dragon realms. I head to the Fingers of Bone.
Yes. Very well. They have you stay a night, and they send you out the next day, and they have a Bushi who is supposed to report to the Fingers of Bone anyways, because he is to begin his watch of the Spider Clan.
What do you mean begin his watch?
The dragon have been charged with watching the Spider Clan by the Emperor.
Oh, okay.
And that is very much public knowledge. The Bushi that walks with you is a very standard run-of-the-mill Bushi. He's not anything particularly interesting. He doesn't have any interesting past or anything like that, but he is a young man. It seems that
he's not a terrified Bushi walking to make sure that I don't commit catastrophes.
He is quite nervous about you, but he doesn't seem to be. He seems pretty green. He probably did his Genpaku ceremony probably like a year, maybe 2 years ago. Him being sent to the Spiderlands to monitor anybody seems like a bad idea, in your opinion.
So when we're on the road, I'm just going to be like, "Why are you being sent? Do you have experience in this?"
No, Kakita-san. I have been chosen from my family as a representative. My family is unfortunately quite young, and there is not another to take my place that has more experience. I am to learn from the other dragon that are present inside Spiderlands.
Ah, interesting. Well then, you are lucky.
Lucky? How so?
You get to learn from people that are masters of their craft. For someone from such a small family, this will undoubtedly bring great honor to them. Your ancestors undoubtedly smile upon you.
My hope is that my watch will be quiet.
Well, you can always hope for a quiet watch. It never is. I hoped for a quiet winter court. And then, you know...
Judging by your current path, I assume that you were not able to find one.
Destruction and carnage seem to follow me wherever I head.
With that, he grips his katana, Like nervously, he kind of shuffles it in his obi.
Why do you grip your weapon?
I wish to be ready for such. Forgive me. I don't mean to insult. He realizes that he did kind of insult you by doing that, and he's like honestly trying to bow to you and be like, "Oh, forgive me."
Do not worry. When you must stare down the mullet of a demon prince or an oni prince, or when ninjas pop out of the ceiling, you will understand the plight that we have faced.
Along the road, he will engage in discussion.
He just doesn't respond to that.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He leaves that alone. Along the road, because you have a couple days before you even get to the Fingers Bone, he will engage in discussion with you. He will talk about the change in climate with the Spider Clan. That recently, the Emperor's new choice in leadership for the Spider Clan has kind of changed things. That a lot of Spider that have left, deciding that they wanted to follow the previous leader of the Spider Clan, which has gone to the colonies. And you find out that he may be amassing an army. At least that's what this young man seems to think.
Are we talking about, is Kenpaki, Daigotu Kenpaki?
Mm-hmm. Daigotu Kenpaki.
Is he right now the one that's left?
Yes, he has been removed by the Emperor. And those that were loyal to him went with him to the colonies.
Oh, it's unfortunate. So the Spider Clan is... So the exodus of the Spider Clan is actually happening at the moment.
Yes. Well, it happened before winter.
Beautiful. Well,
if you listen to the young dragon, who is quite interested in rumors, actually, he tells you also different rumors. Like he tells you about women that are supposedly cheating on their husbands in the dragon colonies and stuff like that. Like he's hardcore rumor monger. Disadvantage.
I look at him. I look straight at him and just look at him and say, "Do you wish to lose your tongue?"
He looks at you nervously, and he'll stop spreading rumors with you. But you can tell that like he starts to kind of tell you about stuff, and then he kind of cuts himself off as you go on your journey after that.
I'll tell him that people that are cheating on their spouses and whatnot, that sending or spilling those types of rumors in the wrong company is a bad idea. And pretty much educate this guy on, how he should actually spread rumors, because, I'm a Cranio.
Yeah, in that case, he'll continue rumor mongering the whole trip. Like anytime he's nervous about something, he'll start talking about random rumors that he's heard. Like he's spilling all sorts of beans left and right. And they're not even useful rumors that you can turn around and use to blackmail somebody later on either.
Well, I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not. I'm just going to look at this guy when he goes, and I'm just going to be like, finally, fucking peace and quiet. Because I assume this nervous bastard was nervous the whole time.
Oh yeah, pretty much the whole way.
And anytime he starts like really annoying me, I'll bring up with Matsu about our fights.
I can just see Matsu like dragging his feet behind you guys with his head up, like, I'm so.
He is very bored. Yes. Rumor is not what he does. It's just.
When you guys make it into the Spiderlands are pretty bare. It looks like people have attempted to build villages and things like that, but they're not very successful. When you get close to the Fingers of Bone, it's a series of mountains that have towers on them. that make it look like a hand sprouting from the ground. And there's a city that's kind of nestled inside the valley between where the fingers kind of form. If you're on the map, I'm about to ping it. There we go. Right there.
I'm not in Roll20 at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's like 4 that are vertical, like this, and then there's one that's like right here. So the city is actually in the middle.
Okay.
But you're able to get to the city. Access to the towers is restricted to Spider Clan members only, but representatives will meet you inside that city, which also happens to be called the Fingers of Bone.
All right. So this RP, I would like to do, if you don't mind, everything from this point on, I'd like to do as kind of in the introduction of Season 2.
I can do that.
Because to me, it makes more sense for us to
Open up at a new
To
city.
establish new facts and then meet up in the colonies. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll do like a little epilogue bit at the beginning where we work out the RP of what you find out at the Fingers of Bone.
Okay.
But like I said, this one is a short game because we're just kind of working out what happens for the epilogue here for Season 1. I did want to take the time. I know that we've got a couple people that have watched us all the way from the beginning, like every live game, even those that have watched us like the next day. That's been really appreciated. This is not really a game for entertainment, so I'm super glad to see that somebody is getting entertained by it, us having just a great time playing our own game. If you have any interest in doing Legend of the Five Rings and you want a player, you can send me an email. I'm cool with that. But no, in reality, if you guys do have interest in playing Legend of the Five Rings, you should definitely give it a shot. If you do happen to see me on one of the groups, probably the one-shot group or even some of the other ones that are online and stuff like that, I may be putting together some one-shots to kind of fill in some spots along the way for specific events that I don't think that this party should be privy to, but should happen inside the world with the players. I've done that twice already, and I like it, having those little episodes of extra content, so I'll probably do more of those in the future. For everybody that has tuned in or just started tuning in, I just wanted to say thank you wholeheartedly because it's been a project of love and fun for us. I know that much. Let's kind of go down the line and say our goodbyes. I think we just started not too long ago, so I think it's fair just to be like, later, everybody. So if you got anything you want to say before you go, feel free. Brennan, you got anything?
I've had a great time with this game. It's been a long time since besides Tom's long-running Shadowrun game, this is the other game that I've really gone to play for a long time recently, and I've really appreciated it.
Absolutely. Next is Jeremy.
I mean, yeah, I had a good time. I may not be the best role player, but I enjoy myself.
Come on, you roleplay your deaths like a champ.
I was actually about to bring that up. I was like, I mean, I may die often. I may whatever or make stupid decisions, but at least everybody gets to be enjoyed by that. So I mean, I hope anybody watching also gets to enjoy it.
I don't think you've ever had a bad death in L5R though.
I don't think I've ever truly had a bad death in general. All my deaths, I died spectacularly.
Except for your knoll.
Decisions.
Except for your knoll.
Except for what?
Knoll.
My knoll?
I was gonna say the best was when your Oread got thrown into the ocean by a tree.
The first thing was
Wife.
Because we calculated how far the distance was.
No,
Twice.
I lived the first drop, but I only went back because I was too stubborn to let a wizard, bring me back and pay for it.
I love that your Oread had a problem with trees.
Fuck trees, man. Those guys put roots in me.
All right. So, Murdoch, you got anything to add?
Play Guns of Icarus online.
Damn it, Murdoch!
Tom will never get to say it because Murdoch's always going to beat him.
No, seriously. So, as everybody may know, we've had a long-running Shadowrun game with Tom here as the game master of narration, or
like
general
2 years almost, hasn't it?
Yeah, trying to kill the worlds. And lately, I want to very publicly, I already wrote it in the Google group for our private group, but I'm just going to say I want to apologize that it hasn't been firing to you, Tom. I love the game. I don't want it to change. I want to keep gaming with you and gaming in that game. We just got to make it fire, man. I'll give you the schedule coming up for the next little bit, so that way you can know, so that way we can schedule it better.
All right.
I wanted to let the whole world know, I'm sorry! I heart Tom!
Yeah, Tom's hardcore, man. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that game's been going for like 2 years now, hasn't it?
It has.
It's
I've
kind
run out of ideas, and like that particular game has never had like a structured storyline. There's a world, stuff happens, and then like every so often
And
I go
then
like,
you live the
okay, what's that?
repercussions.
Yeah, it's like every so often I go, okay, what bounces into what next? Okay, that thing.
I love it. I love the game. I think it's awesome. I'm proud to be a part of that game.
Surprisingly, that's
So,
one of the few games
Tom,
I've
now
not
that-
died in.
Well,
Now
you're
that your
the-
thunder has been stolen, do you have anything you'd like to personally add?
Well, I've been having a lot of fun with this system. I mean, this is the first time I've actually played Legend of the Five Rings, and like the first time I shot through the book is like, that looks cool, and just sort of roll with that. So,
Sounds about
It's
right.
definitely a lot of fun. I did want to make mention that if you guys do feel a desire to change characters in the season break, we can work that out as well. But I think everybody's pretty happy with their characters right now and doesn't want to leave them, so that's cool. I appreciate that as a game master. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for the public broadcast. If you guys can stick around, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Star Wars for our interim show, because we're going to do a trilogy, which may or may not be 3 actual games. It kind of depends on how quick we go through the content. We're thinking
Like
it's probably
30.
going to be like 6 games at least.
30.
We
Oh,
know,
and
we know it's
I-
going to take way more than that.
I forgot to mention, so there's going to be a couple weeks, I think, before we start with Star Wars.
Mhm.
I think I will be doing a one-shot or two-shot of the Leverage RPG system that got posted to the one-shot group. I'm a huge fan of Leverage for like the last 4 years, and I never knew an RPG existed. I read it, and I love it. So I'll be really excited to do that.
Which that one will probably record as well too. So hopefully we'll see a little bit of change in content, and I've got to do another video for this
More
week
content.
coming up.
More content.
More and changes, yeah, exactly.
I will say that pretty soon, the gaming store that I go to, Relentless Dragon, that I run their X-Wing stuff, is going to have a room with a camera and a microphone to record games that I have maybe already gotten the okay from somebody in this chat. Wave,
Yep.
Chris.
I okay you. Yeah.
Okay. Chris, to allow us to post some of that content of board games and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff that happens there to his channel to get more content on there for everybody to enjoy and to see some new faces that you guys don't normally get to see in maybe some of our other games that we play.
Yeah, this channel's actually been really great. I did want to mention that I just crested over the 400 mark, which is pretty good for like a small time channel. So I'm super happy with that.
Next
And
mark 400,000.
I was gonna say the next mark is 500, but the whole idea with the channel is more about creating a community and sharing the things that we really like. So stuff like this, I hope to have more of, like board games and stuff like that, and reaching out and adding more players and doing one-shots with some new faces and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. Other than that, that's all I've got for Season 1 of 3 Feet from Death. We will see you guys again for Star Wars in the interim, but for Season 2 of 3 Feet from Death. Thanks for tuning in, and you guys, we'll see you at the gaming table.